Hello then, people, and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. It is Tuesday, the 7th of September. We are another day closer to, of course, that mouth-watering tie on Sunday against Liverpool. We've got loads to get into today, as is always the case, man. Plenty of news to get through, because this is your one-stop shop for all your Leeds United-related news, Elland Road, Thorp, and all that jazz, yeah? All that jazz. But before we do get into it, please smash a like on the video, share, subscribe, and, of course, get your comments in. And hit that notification bell as well. Next week, I've just had a look at all the games, man. Champions League, Europa League, everything. We're going to be busy. We're going to be busy on the Just Joe Football Show, so make sure you keep it locked. And now let's get into today's video. And this is the moment when I take a stand. So, guys, we're going to start, first of all, with one Jamie O'Hara. He's been up to his old tricks again, hasn't he? The guy is clueless about football in general. He had a heated debate with Ally McCoist. We know Ally McCoist is a big fan of Leeds United and the way they played. He seems to have our back and Bielsa's back quite a lot of the time on the radio. He's had Bamford's back during this international debate. But Jamie O'Hara basically he came out and said that Gareth Southgate was giving out debuts like confetti. Obviously, you know... Probably saw that he never got an England call, but let's be honest, Jamie O'Hara's football career was abysmal. Let's be honest. Where did he end up in the end? Billericay Town, I think, player manager or something like that, went into coaching. Yeah, that didn't work either. But basically, he said Bamford shouldn't be playing. He said he's holding others back. Mentioned Mason Greenwood. Listen, Mason Greenwood should be in the squad. I'm not disputing that fact. But Bamford's the most like Harry Kane. You know, and the way that Gareth likes to play, if he wants a like for like, although not quite at Harry Kane's level, then he's the man that you turn to, surely. I understand the Mason Greenwood one and saying he should be in the squad. I agree with that, but it doesn't mean that Patrick Bamford has to come out of it. I think if ever Gareth is going to use Mason Greenwood, he's not going to use him as the number 9, the man up top. He'd only ever use him on the wing for me, and we're already stacked in that position. So I don't understand that either. I get that you know, Mason Greenwood should be in there, but not in replace of Patrick Bamford, because if you're going to replace Kane with someone, it would be Patrick Bamford. You know, Ally McCoist was saying he's not holding anyone back, but, you know, Jamie O'Hara disagreed and said that Southgate was handing out debuts like confetti. Now, let's not remember, this is the same Jamie O'Hara that before the Euros said that Jesse Lingard should be in the squad ahead of Phillips. He said, what does Phillips do that Bellingham, Rice and Henderson can't do? And Phillips should be nowhere near the England squad. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Phillips played almost every single minute of the Euros. I think it was only John Stones that played more outfield minutes than him and was just voted BT's England Player of the Year. Yet Jamie O'Hara was telling us previously that he shouldn't be in there and Jesse Lingard should be there ahead of him. I mean, you're talking about what can Phillips do over a Rice, Henderson or Bellingham? Well, he's keeping them out of the side, bar Rice. It's the best midfield partnership we've had for years at England. You know, Phillips and Rice as a two. For me, in my opinion, of course I'm going to say that. But you're talking about Greenwood, but he has no clue, because Lingard to come in for a Phillips just doesn't make sense, does it? Really, when you think about it, it doesn't, because he doesn't do what he does. Do you know what I mean? It just boils my piss. Jamie O'Hara boils my piss, and I know a lot of people say, don't read into it, don't listen to it, and I know I'll get that in the comments as well, which is fine. I think it's funny, though. It's funny to engage. Sometimes it is funny to see what's being said. It's clear he's just on there for clickbait sort of stuff, and they've got what they wanted from it in today's episode. I mean, we've even seen a betting company. This is what I mean, Leeds United, because they are so vitriolic as a fan base, we are. You know, there's another betting company that's taking odds on the squad to start at the World Cup, and Calvin Phillips isn't even in there. Now, what's that for? It's purely bait. It's purely bait. They hope, I think it's Odds Checker, that's who it is, Odds Checker. Odds Checker hope that Leeds United fans see that, which they have. I didn't engage in that one. I did this morning with Jamie O'Hara because it was early doors, and when I'm angry in the morning. Do you know what I mean? Though, sort of bit. But with this Odds Checker one, it was clear they were just trying the similar sort of stuff. trying the similar sort of stuff, trying to bait Leeds fans, because they come out in their droves, right, in support of. But yeah, Jamie O'Hara needs to get back in his box, you know, like he told Leeds fans. Remember, get back in your box. He told us. Well, he needs to get back in his box because he said the exact same about Calvin Phillips. Said the exact same about Calvin Phillips previously, and look what Calvin Phillips done. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's just been voted Player of the Year for England. Now, I'd love someone to put that to Jamie O'Hara. If given the opportunity, I would. Do you know what I mean? I would put that to him and see what he's got to say on that matter. I mean, Darren Bent came out in support of him, also works on TalkSport, actually said underneath it, there was loads actually, Max Rushton, etc., plenty of people, but Darren Bent said Jamie O'Hara was ridiculous. Bamford fully deserved his call-up. He should have got one last year, considering the only Englishman to beat him in the goal-scoring charts was Harry Kane. He's the perfect understudy for Harry Kane. Do you know what I mean? And that's coming from Darren Bent, who has played at a decent level, not like Jamie O'Hara, rocking up at Billericay Town. Do you know what I mean? So get back in your box, Jamie O'Hara. Chris Sutton had bits to say as well on Bamford. He said, look, I feel for Patrick Bamford. He's waited a long time for his England call-up. Too long, really, because I don't think he should have waited until he turned 28-year-old for his first cap. Maybe I disagree with Chris there because he's not really been at a level where he warranted an England call-up up until recently. But he says, in the end, Bamford's Three Lions debut will go down as being fairly underwhelming. And I understand it, you know, I understand because you expect him to score. And I've heard a lot of it, digesting a lot of stuff. I was listening to the Guardian Weekly and people were saying on there that he's got to score against Andorra. But if you don't give him the ball, then he can't fucking score. This is what's been really frustrating. He says, you know, Chris Sutton went on to say, you know, you might tell me he should have done better, given he was facing Andorra, as they are ranked, you know, 156 in the world, you know, which I understand. But he says it isn't easy for a striker when you're facing a side like this, you know. Bamford didn't have a great deal of space to work with. He likes to peel behind the centre halves for Leeds United, and there was no chance to do that against this Andorran team. You know, they showed zero intent in pushing up. You know, that's what Sutton went on to say. So I do hope this isn't the end for Patrick Bamford, and I think Gareth Southgate will know that it's not. But if you listen to Twitter and the fans of England that aren't Leeds fans, they'll say, "Oh, no, he's rubbish. He should have scored a hat-trick, etc." But he had a good game. He had a good game. You know, and let's not forget, we had this with Calvin Phillips. We've had it before. We should be used to it by now, but I still want to back my boy. Paddy Bamford will play it again for England. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. We're now just going to move on to Rafinha and Brazil. Yeah. We know that Rafinha didn't go to the Brazil games. We're still waiting to see whether or not Leeds United will face some sort of sanction with that. Does that mean Rafinha is going to miss these 5 days? He's not going to have to quarantine for 10 days, because he's not gone. So will we get the sanction from FIFA that says he's not allowed to play for 5 days, which means he will miss the Liverpool game. But what a shambles it turned out to be anyway, because Brazil played Argentina, you'll have all seen it. And 4 Argentinian Premiership players were being pulled off the pitch after failing to quarantine. And apparently they wanted to deport them straight away. So I think for me, surely Brazil now don't have a leg to stand on. We said we didn't want to send them because of COVID, and them being in a red zone. And then they've gone to play a game, and there's been 4 Premier League players, which was Giovanni Lo Celso, Christian Romero. You've got the goalkeeper Martinez at Villa, and Emi Buendia as well. Have entered into the country and not isolated, and just joined up with the Argentinian squad without permission. Do you know what I mean? And apparently are set to be fined, like the Tottenham duo, Giovanni Lo Celso and Christian Romero, are apparently going to be fined by Tottenham because they told them not to go. But these players have gone, think they're above the law, whatever you want to say, and decided not to quarantine and then gone to play a football match. And then these footballers have then gone onto the pitch, like I say, to go play a game. And the Brazilian health organisation have had to come on and say, get off the pitch, we're going to deport you. So I'm glad that Rafinha hasn't gone. And surely now, in terms of any sort of sanction coming our way, you would imagine that they haven't got a leg to stand on, and Rafinha will hopefully be able to play against Liverpool, because we definitely do need him. And just while we're staying on the internationals as well, ITV did a feature and Ian Wright's been speaking glowingly about Dan James. Now, just before I go this, I'm just going to say there is a person who watches my videos very regularly. He's always on the watch-alongs, always baiting Leeds fans. He is a Leeds fan himself, I think. He knows who he is. He made a comment during one of my videos when Dan James was playing and said he was woeful. Ryan Kent's better, all this sort of stuff. Now, clearly, he wasn't watching the same game as me, as other individuals, and of course the pros. So I just wanted to say that you know who you are. You know who you are that just wants to throw shade at anything Leeds United are doing, right? And you had a poor take. Dan James rubbish. What's he even doing against Belarus, you know? But the stuff that's coming out on Dan James has just been nothing but superlatives thrown at him, you know. ITV did a feature. You can check that. LUFC Date has actually tweeted it out, so have a look at it. But Ian Wright went on to say, look, Dan James, his output today with his tackles, his interceptions, creating chances. He said, I'm very excited to see how he's going to get on at Leeds United. The thing with him is he's so energetic. He's willing. He's a willing runner. He never stops working. You know, the take-ons, he had the most take-ons, creating, working back, interceptions. You watch him, he's doing all that, and you can envisage him at Leeds United and what he's capable of doing. And Ian Wright said it's an exciting time for Leeds and for him. It's going to be a fantastic move for him. You know, and that gets me salivating. You know, I cannot wait to see Dan James play at Leeds United. And this is why Bielsa loves him, because of everything I've just mentioned there. So I know he's not that marquee, amazing signing that everyone wanted or certain sections of the fan base, but let's not be writing him off. Let's not be watching him at Belarus saying he's having a rubbish game when in actual fact he wasn't and was one of the better performers in that game. Do you know what I mean? But so just because it doesn't go with your narrative, or, you know, we haven't signed Matthias Cunha or whatever, let's not just be throwing shade for throwing shade's sake. He was fantastic the other day for Wales, man. And we're going to see more of that in a Leeds United shirt, I'm sure of it. Just while we stay with the internationals now, Joe Gelhardt played his debut for the England under-20 side as they won 6-1 against Romania. He actually scored 2 goals on his debut. It was his debut at that level, no less. As I said, there was some saying it was a hat-trick, but I think the goal was given elsewhere. But Joe Gelhardt got 2 on his debut. Cody Drama played, Lewis Bates, Sam Greenwood. So it's amazing, you know, to see these lads doing it at that level. We've got Charlie Creswell, who is preparing to face Kosovo with the under-21s group. You know, them young players at Thorp at the minute are chomping at the bit. It's amazing to see, and hopefully we'll see some of them in the first team soon. Someone who didn't have quite the greatest time at youth international level was Ilya Meslier. A rare moment to forget for him as he made an error. They drew with Faroe Islands. France would dominated the game. I think they had like 17, shots on goal, was only winning 1-0. Meslier came out of his box and misplaced a pass, and Faroe Islands was able to equalise. So not the best time for Meslier, but as long as he gets them done during international duty, that's fine for me. But there's your international roundup. We're now just going to move on to a little bit of transfer news, or transfer guff, I would say. There is reports coming out that Leeds could move for Jack Wilshere. Leeds United may look to boost their squad before the January transfer window, and there's a number of free options out there. I'll go through them. Leeds United Live did an article on the potential incomings that Leeds could move for. But yeah, it's been reported that we could move for experienced midfielder Jack Wilshere. It's guff. It's lies. There's no way Leeds United move for Jack Wilshere for me. Definitely not. He's broken. You know, we already have a part broken midfielder in Adam Forshaw. We're then not going to bring in Jack Wilshere. Other names on that list, Serge Aurier, right back, I believe he's going to Arsenal, but we don't need a right back, and certainly one not with an attitude of him. You've got Mo Besic that they've mentioned as well. Again, he was at Everton, but spent loans at Borough and at Sheffield United, and his career's fallen off a cliff. He did well at Borough, I remember that bit, but we're not going to move for these players, Bentaleb, Clement, Grenier. Leeds United aren't in the market for these sort of players, and they're frees for a reason for me. Jack Wilshere, Bentaleb, Besic, death freeze for a reason, and we're up a level to that for me. So I found it very strange that it was actually being reported that we could move for Jack Wilshere. I think it's total guff, and I can't see it happening. Just looking ahead as well now to Liverpool, they've got a bit of an injury crisis going on at the minute at Liverpool. Minamino's injured, of course, he's still there. I thought they would have sold him or at least moved him out on loan, but they've got quite a small squad, haven't they, Liverpool? Fabinho as well, maybe missing with that Brazil situation that we find ourselves in with Rafinha. But Harvey Elliott, he's had to pull out of the under-21s game against Kosovo, which is played later on today. So Harvey Elliott's going to be missed. And I was concerned about him because he's a real talent, and I think he would flourish against this Leeds United side if given the time and space to work in. So if he is missing, it is a big plus. And Naby Keita as well. Naby Keita was supposed to be playing against Morocco on Monday, but there's issues over in Africa. There's been gunfire, I believe, in Guinea, where they were supposed to be playing. So although Keita is supposed to be safe and well, Liverpool is still yet to confirm when he will make his return to England because of this gunfire. So he could be missing as well. So there's a bit of a crisis going on at Liverpool. So I'll keep you updated with that as the week goes on. Just to finish, just some quick fire news stories. Leeds are delighted to announce new and exciting official partnership with global platform eToro. I believe it's crypto. Again, there seems to be a lot of this at the minute, and some fans don't like it. Some fans are participating. It's what it is. It's your opinion. I'm not going to get involved in cryptocurrency. I don't even know if eToro is that. I've seen people say it isn't that. But yeah, it's the changing of the times. Leeds United need to bring in money. Yeah, okay, morals and all that stuff, but it's football clubs. And let's not forget, Brad Rosani went to Myanmar, for God's sake, you know what I mean? As long as he doesn't drive my football club into the ground and he's bringing in sponsorship, I guess, you know, it is what it is. If you like trading, then trade, you know, it's your bag. Tickets for Leeds United's upcoming clash with West Ham will go on sale on Wednesday at 1 p.m. I unfortunately didn't get a Newcastle ticket. They went on sale yesterday at 1 p.m. If you know anyone who's got a spare, please do hit me up. But if you're looking to go to the West Ham game, tickets will go on sale from Wednesday at 1 p.m. Ex-player of ours, Kemar Roofe, he made his international debut for Jamaica, so big shout out for him. I still hold a little piece for Kemar Roofe. I didn't rate him initially, but under Bielsa, it was fantastic. So well done to Kemar Roofe. And Diego Flores, guys, ex-assistant manager under Bielsa, needed a break, has moved, you know, no longer works for Bielsa, but has got a job at Godoy Cruz in Argentina. They were on a four-game, winning, four-game winless run. And he came in and on his debut game, they won 4-0. So just shows you, I can imagine him on the training field adopting their methods from Bielsa and them absolutely smashing their first game. So big shout out to Diego Flores there. But thank you, as always, for watching the Daily Leeds, guys. I love putting this stuff together. It takes me a little bit of time, but I do enjoy doing it. I hope you have got a lot from today's episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please smash the like on the video on your way out as well. And just enjoy the rest of your week. I won't be doing a watch along either for the England game on Wednesday, nor will there be an opposition preview because I remembered I'm actually going to the Phil Hay book launch in Leeds. So if you go into that, I'm on my own. So let me know, reach out and we can meet up. But yeah, listen, enjoy your week and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Leeds.